Welcome to Music She Missed, the podcast where I try to get my best friend caught up on some of the most popular songs and artists that impact our lives. I'm Allison.
I'm Rachel, and I'm the one who missed all the music.
You sure did. Rachel, welcome to Season 4.
Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we've gotten this far.
Me neither.
I honestly thought we would stop, and I wouldn't have been able to handle it, but I am here. It is Season 4,
Yes.
and we are doing this.
We are. So, I am super excited about this season. I think it's my favorite lineup yet.
Really?
Yes. And like how we finished Season 3, we're going to be going more diverse.
Okay.
We're going to bring in some new genres, some new artists that you definitely haven't heard. We're doing some big names that
I should have heard?
that you definitely should have heard.
Okay.
And I am really excited to see where this season takes you on your musical journey.
Okay, let's do it.
Awesome. And as we always start every episode, I like to ask you a question that will maybe give you a clue to the
Okay.
artist, but maybe not.
Correct.
So my question for you is, where were you New Year's Eve, 1999?
I was either in the middle of the United States continent
Or...
or in the middle of Europe.
Yeah,
Like,
I was kind of thinking
in
more
the
like
middle
what
of
you were doing, not like your like location on the
Geographic
globe.
location. Okay, well, you said where, and I...
Like, as in, where were you when you heard,
Where was I in life? With Y2K, stocking up with lots of bottled water?
that's 2000.
Okay, whatever. Somewhere around there.
So what you're saying is you don't remember.
No?
Okay. That's fine. It was a long time ago.
It was. Well, I'm curious how this has something to do with the band or artist that we're going to be venturing into.
Okay.
Does it have something to do with numbers and counting down? Does it have something to do with party and events and kind of like celebration?
Well, why don't we do the big reveal and you will find out.
Wait. Celebrate good times. Is it Come On? No.
It is Come On, but that is
Is that not it?
not it.
Okay. Well, I know those lyrics.
Yeah, you do.
I don't
you know
who,
something.
who are they?
That is not our artist for today.
Oh, okay.
So
well,
we're
I
not
thought I
going that
guessed
way.
it.
No.
Okay, well, didn't win that one.
Okay, are you ready for the big reveal of
Here
the
we
artist
go.
that is a lot better than Kool and the Gang?
Oh, was that Cool in the Game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go. Big reveal. Drum roll. Prince.
He's that guy that's dead. Right? He has passed away.
He did, yeah.
I cannot think of any song by Prince.
Well, he has a big hit called 1999.
Huh.
That doesn't strike a bell, huh?
No, pass.
Interesting. Okay, I'll just throw some other titles at you, though that was the one I was really kind of assuming you might know. He has a song called When Doves Cry.
Pass.
Little Red Corvette.
Oh, that's nice. Pass.
Okay, this is a big one here. Purple Rain.
There's no such thing as Purple Rain.
There is. It's a album and song by, like, one of the most famous musical artists of all time.
No, rain doesn't come down in the color purple. Pass.
Pass it is. Okay, so we're going to go with pass. All right.
I guess I really don't know any Prince songs.
I guess you don't. You might when you hear them. You never know. Titles can be deceiving.
Yeah, I think Michael Jackson was like that.
Yeah. So Prince is huge, prolific, had 39 albums. I can't even fit, like, just making this playlist, I'm, like, embarrassed because I feel like I'm neglecting him because there's so much that I can't even put on here to keep it remotely within an hour. So,
wow.
Yeah, so this is probably the biggest name that you've known the least about.
Huh. That's really sad.
It's not sad. It's exciting. Because
Okay.
you're about to do some homework. So for our new audience members that might just be jumping in for season 4, what's your homework?
I listened to this playlist from Spotify. That's listed on Spotify. It's an hour's worth of music, and I listen to it in an hour every single day for a week.
Yep.
And then we come back for part B of our recordings, and we talk about what I think.
Yeah. And you just get to be exposed to it for the first time.
Ever.
And bring your opinions and share them with the rest of us that already know, but it's like fresh eyes.
Ooh.
It's exciting. All right, Rachel. Well, audience, we'll be back with you in just a minute. Rachel, are you excited about your week listening to Prince?
I don't know, because I've never really heard Prince.
Just say, yes, I'm excited.
Yes, I'm excited.
Okay, see you next week.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back. Rachel, you spent the last week listening to Prince.
Yes, I
The High Priest of Pop, the Prince of Funk, his Royal Badness, the Purple One, and also the artist formerly known as Prince.
Formerly known as?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he always be known as that?
No. We have a fun story ahead. But before we start, how did your week go?
I liked it. I think I found out that I like his more beginning stuff
Okay.
than his end stuff, but I still at this point in listening, I don't know why, and so that I'm kind of hoping talking with you, I'm gonna figure it out.
We will do our best.
Okay.
No promises. So where do you want to start? Do you have some questions you want to start with? Do you want to jump into the history?
Well, you just kind of said a little bit right here of the whole Prince of formerly known as what are all those nicknames? Are those his nicknames?
Yeah, those are definitely his nicknames. Yeah. And I'm going to get to the formally thing later.
Okay. So
But let's start by talking about his name.
so his name Prince, is that his name?
It totally is his name.
His mama named him Prince.
Yes. Is that not... That's like the first time where you're like, is their name blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yep, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's his middle name?
Rogers. So let's explain. His parents were both musicians. And his father's stage
That explains
name...
a lot. Okay.
Hang tight.
Hold on. Go ahead.
His father's stage name was Prince Rogers. And so his full name, born 1958, Prince Rogers Nelson.
Ah.
But just goes by
So
Prince.
he was just named after his dad's stage name.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. So his mom was a musician as well.
Yeah, she was a singer, I believe.
Nice.
And so he grew up in a musical family.
Yeah,
right?
he did.
Very early age, very precocious, right? He was learning guitar, drums, bass, keyboards, right? All these things from a very early age and self-taught.
So then that goes into my question here.
Okay.
So he does more than just singing then.
Yes.
So he plays all the instruments that I'm listening to.
So actually his first 5 albums, which you have a few songs on your playlist from those, it includes 1999, Dirty Mind, and the self-titled album Prince, plus 2 other albums that didn't make it on. He played everything on those albums. I believe I read 27 different instruments. Yes, on his debut album. So he is nearly all the instruments, right?
Wow. He's
Isn't
like
that
a
amazing?
one-man band.
Yeah. He later did have bands with him on other albums. So like it's like Prince and the Revolution, Prince and, right? Like different bands.
Yeah.
But these first 5 albums are basically him.
Then my next question is,
Okay.
with his mom and dad both being in music, how old was he when he first recorded his first album?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So he made a demo tape, right, at the age of 17. And that tape is what got him connections, and Warner Brothers picked up his first album. Warner Brothers signed him for 3 albums based off that.
Wow.
demo. Yeah. So the first album was called For You, which a song from that didn't make it on your playlist. As I mentioned in our first half, he's really, really prolific, so there was no way everything was going to fit on the playlist. But also the album Prince and Dirty Mind, those 3 albums were just guaranteed from that demo tape.
Then my next question is, did he do any collaboration type music? When you said, Prince and that, like other bands and things like that. But other than like those kind of collaborations, what other kind of collaborations has he done?
He did do a song with Stevie Wonder.
Oh, I know him.
I know. Season 1, throwback. He also he mentored a bunch of artists.
Really?
But most of them, I don't think you would know who they are.
Of course I wouldn't.
Well, sometimes, I can be like, oh yeah, this person and this person who you also know. Yeah, not a lot of, it's almost not even worth me telling you because you're just going to be like, I don't know who that is.
Well, I could always look into it.
Sure, yeah. But a lot of famous artists did cover his songs. Sometimes like the artist cover is bigger than the Prince song itself. And there's a lot of big names that worked with him more indirectly in that way.
Oh, okay.
So like Madonna co-wrote and performed a song with him.
I'm kind of not surprised.
He would write songs for people. He wrote a song for Celine Dion, or people would cover his songs like Alicia Keys.
That's kind of a nice gift to get from Prince, Oh, yeah. I wrote you a song. Here you go.
So probably the biggest song that I can think of is a cover of his song Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor. I feel like her version of that song is really big and famous. Have you ever heard that song?
Never heard of her.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I didn't really, you were like, collaborations.
Yeah.
And he was influenced by a lot of big names. He worked with a lot of big names, but the kind of thing that you've seen in other artists that we've done where it's like so-and-so and so-and-so together.
Yeah, like I know Justin Timberlake did a lot of more collaborations and things like that, and then Madonna did.
Right.
But it was just... when I was looking at the playlist that you made up for
it's
me,
just Prince.
And I was like, you said he's so big, and I'm like,
he's huge.
Then why don't I see his name with someone else?
So a fun thing you could do is Google Prince collaborations, and you'll find him performing live with a lot of other big artists, doing songs together, tributes for people, like that kind of stuff. He did. He worked with like amazing people. It's just you're not going to find that here on your playlist. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. So I kind of am trying to figure out how to categorize his music.
Great.
I would say pop and from like the 80s.
Yeah, so you are correct and not. So primarily the genre would be funk, and then bringing in pop, bringing in rock, bringing in R&B, and other influences later, like jazz, maybe even a little hip hop. Though he wasn't really comfortable with that genre, but he really like melded a bunch of things together, defying genre and creating a totally new, unique sound.
Oh, wow. So at this time period, people really didn't do that. They just always stayed in pop.
No. Lots of people do this, but he did it
his way.
The best way. He's just, yeah. And the other thing is related to the time period. So most of the songs that are on your playlist are from the 80s. So yes. But he had 39 albums, and he was continuing to make music up until his death. So, he brought in jazz later, right? He really did a lot of unique things. And we're going to talk about his later life in a bit. But his music really evolved and changed over the decades as well. There's a couple of problems with this playlist. One is that he has so much music, and I've really got to stick to that hour rule, right? So I put his biggest stuff. But the other problem is that while he was alive, Prince was very, very suspicious of the internet and protective of his work. So until he died, like, we couldn't have done this artist when we started the show because none of his music was on Spotify or anywhere online.
So how would you buy his stuff?
Well, CDs or purchasing, like, downloading files,
Really?
Yes. So, and since he passed away, a lot of his music has appeared on Spotify, but there's a lot of it that isn't even on there. So there's like 10 years. There was some interesting things that I wanted to put on here because they represented some of those other time periods and would have like exemplified those other things I wanted to mention, but they're not even on here. Like our frequent co-host and producer Aaron was like, "Oh, make sure you put this song on here,"
but you couldn't,
and I couldn't, and I was like, "Dang!"
Wow.
So you're getting kind of like
almost a taste.
Yeah, exactly. You're getting
not
this sort
even a
of
full
80s
meal.
centric greatest hits kind of focus because that's what's available.
Wow. So another part of my question is with the Americans' 80s time period. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to guess where. It's not Beach Boys in California.
No,
that's not him.
Right.
But I would say New York City and the clubs.
Yeah, so his music was definitely used like that, like for dance,
But isn't that where he's from?
He's from Minnesota.
What? Really?
Yeah, and that's actually where his house
Wait a second.
Where he retired.
His parents are from Minnesota, and they named their child Prince from Minnesota.
I think his parents are from Louisiana.
Totally shocked me on that because I want to let you know after listening to his music, I would not say Minnesota. I would say like New York City and the clubs.
Right?
Wow.
He's like the most famous Minnesotan that we have for sure covered on this show.
Wow.
So I do want to talk a little bit more about his history.
Mm-hmm.
So most of your songs that are here on this playlist are fairly clean.
Mm-hmm.
They're suggestive, but they're not.
Yes, they are.
Well, so this is tame.
That's why I said when you said he collaborated with Madonna, I was like, I'm not surprised at that.
Right. So this is tame Prince.
Oh
Prince was
gosh.
really known for being very sexual and explicit. But we didn't even go down the road that we could have.
That everyone knows about?
Yes, everyone is very aware of this album. It's huge.
Oh,
It's
okay.
big.
Just
It's
me
famous.
then.
And it's also a movie. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's a film and a soundtrack and a song.
Did he play himself?
I don't know. I've never seen the movie.
Huh.
But let me tell you my story about this song. Track 5 of Purple Rain is called Darling Nikki. And it is so suggestive that Tipper Gore, of all people, heard it and used this song as an example to like bring to Congress why there should be like warnings on albums about like warning about explicit material. So you can thank Prince for that.
Wow.
If you...
So that's... Prince is the reason why we have the little labels explicit, parental...
Yup.
Wow.
So you didn't experience those. And some of the songs that are really well known, once again, aren't on here. So I couldn't share them with you, but I can, if you'd like, send you Prince, the crazier version, and send you some of those songs so you can see, so you can understand a little bit more, because that's one of the things he was really known for. In fact, I think you texted me like a picture of him when you were kind of listening, and you were like, I don't know how I feel about this album cover.
Yeah, his album cover, he's like wearing underwear, and I mean, it's just like hiking up super high, and I'm like, I like the song, but the album cover, I don't think I would put this on my wall. One of the things that as I was listening to him this week, is that his voice, it's like crazy high to a point where the first time listening to the Spotify playlist, I was like, is this a guy or a girl? You said the name is Prince, which tells me it's a guy, but his voice is really high.
Right.
And then also I was thinking that maybe they changed his voice in the recording studio or something like that. I just didn't understand.
Not to my knowledge. So my understanding is that he just has a really big range and can do baritone to falsetto.
Yeah.
And that's because he's
Prince.
a musical genius, and extremely talented.
Wow. Okay. So, tell me a little bit about how he likes to continue his craziness in pushing the boundaries.
Well, so it's funny that you were like, oh, well, I thought he was a girl. So you noticed perhaps on the playlist that the album that the song 7 is on.
Yeah.
Also has a fun song called Sexy MF. You can assume what that abbreviation stands for.
Wow. How is it explicit?
It's a good song though.
Huh.
So that album title, Love Symbol, is in brackets.
Why is that?
Because that's not actually the title of the album. The album was released with just this symbol that is a combination, like a stylized combination of the male and female symbols. And he did this because he was having these kind of contractual, like, problems and issues with the publishers. And so to get out, and the thing is that they had a contract with Prince. And so he's like, okay, I just won't be Prince. I'm changing my name to this unpronounceable symbol. And so that's how he became the artist formerly known as Prince.
Oh.
Yeah. So he was known
as that symbol.
Right.
Interesting.
So it's Love Symbol, but it doesn't really have a name. It's just a thing.
It's interesting how he was so dedicated to his music and so dedicated to the methods of how he wanted to deliver his music to his audience that he wasn't going to let contracts. He wasn't going to let outside world say, this is how we're going to force you to perform it and force you to write the lyrics or do this and that. He's like, no, I love you all this much. I'm going to do it any which way I can. Yeah.
I mean, really, really interesting. And he continued to do that even if things weren't commercially successful. One of the things that I read is that you would not have found him going back and listening to the music of his past. He was always moving forward, even in ways that some like dedicated Prince fans didn't even care for. One of the best examples that I can think of is in 2001, he had a conversion to Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, he became a Jehovah's Witness.
Interesting.
Thanks to the guy from Sly and the Family Stone, which is another band. We're not going there right now.
Pass.
I know. But at that time, he, like, stopped playing all his dirty songs. And he did, I mean, he had always incorporated religious themes in his music. You can hear it in Sign of the Times. You can hear it in Seven. And those are even before this. He was raised like Seventh-day Adventist, I believe. So, but also like hypersexual, right? So there's this weird sort of like religious and sexy kind of thing happening. After he joined the Jehovah's Witnesses, he did make he stopped swearing. He really changed, like, the content. So, and not everybody was a fan of that change, right? And that was in 2001, but he still had huge albums after that. One in 2004, I believe, called Musicology, went double platinum.
Wow.
So it's not like he was only big in the 80s, and then everything since then is not important. It's just that, like, Spotify has a 15-year gap of his music that I just couldn't put on your playlist because it's just not on there.
Wow.
So there's
more stuff I can listen to.
You could listen probably to Prince every day and you wouldn't get through all his music in a week, you know?
Wow.
Like 39 albums.
Wow.
Right? I mean,
so he pretty much didn't stop from 17 to whenever he died.
That's right.
When did he die and how did he die and how old was he?
So he was not that old. He died in 2016.
Oh, okay.
So he was
pretty recent.
Yeah, it is recent, and so he was in his 50s.
Oh, that is young.
Yeah, and he did. He had some like hip problems and different things.
Well, if he's doing all the sex moves, then yeah, he would have hip
or
problems.
dancing. Let's go. Yeah.
No, I think he's having the sex.
Okay. Anyway, he unfortunately had a problem that lots of other famous people had, which was being addicted to opioids. Right?
Oh, that's
This is a huge problem in our country right now, you know, and he overdosed accidentally. It's just sad, you know, and it really.
So it wasn't suicide.
No, it was
an accident.
It was an accident. And, you know, the world lost a great musical genius. And it was a really hard day for people all over the world who loved him.
He was in his 50s. He wasn't done. So, question for you.
Sure.
If it was an accident and he was only in his 50s and he seems like very smart, you know how, like, I think it was like the Beatles, there's stuff that they could produce and do after the times.
Oh, yeah.
Or
the
like
Beatles aren't the only ones.
Michael Jackson did that. Do you think he'll be able to do that?
Yeah. So
yeah.
So stuff has already posthumously come out. 2 albums have come out since then. An album called Forever in 2016, and then a deluxe expanded version of Purple Rain came out in 2017. Yeah.
So did he ever get married, have kids?
So he was married. He had one son who died of a really rare genetic disease called Pfeiffer syndrome as an infant.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. He did have many relationships with famous women, you know, in the 80s and 90s.
Did he have more children?
Not to my knowledge.
Maybe they'll come out of the woodworks, though.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But we still have so much Prince to enjoy. I mean, there's so much stuff probably that hasn't even been released, right? Just like he created so much music. He did movie soundtracks. In fact, he did the Tim Burton Batman soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah, there's a hit called Bat Dance. I wanted to put that on your playlist, but it's like 6 minutes long when you're trying to keep something in an hour.
That is pretty
And it's
hard.
just like a dance hit that says Batman. Like, it just kind of like, it's a fun fact. Didn't make it into the highlight reel.
It made it into part B of our podcast, though.
It sure did. So let's talk about what you think about him. First, I want to know what you didn't like.
So, like I mentioned earlier, that I liked more of his earlier stuff, but now I feel really confused because Spotify doesn't have it all.
Yeah.
And note to self, I need to email Spotify and tell them that they need to publish all of them on Spotify.
Okay.
But anyways, I liked more of his beginning stuff, and I didn't like... It's not that I didn't like it, I just...
So you didn't like you liked the things in the late 80s more than the early 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the little segment of music that we have here.
Where I only had one dislike out of the playlist that you created.
All right.
And it was the Signs of the Time.
Sign o' the Time.
Signs of the Time.
Sign o' the Time.
Oh, then I wrote it wrong. Sorry.
Worries. From the same album of the same name.
Yeah. Like, overall, I liked his beat, and I was listening to the playlist, you know, with my husband, my daughter, and we were having fun, you know, listening to the beat, finding the beat all together. But this song, the beat felt like it was repetitive, and to a point where it was over and over again.
It's just a little bit different.
Yeah, and it got to the point where I hate to use the word annoying. Sorry.
No, it's all right. You're allowed to not like it. Lyrically, it's also a little bit depressing.
Yeah, and the song was like over 4 minutes, so I'm just like over and over.
It was a hit, though, you know,
Okay.
So I was just trying to get a little diversity in there.
But I did like 4 specific songs that I liked a lot.
Sure.
When You Were Mine.
That's a real fun one.
Oh, good. So I picked a good one.
They're all good.
I like the electric piano. This was the song I was really unsure if it was a guy or a girl when singing it.
Right.
But
that is from one of the albums that he does practically all the instruments on. So whatever you
Really?
liked on there, he did it. Yeah, it's
Cool.
from the album Dirty Mind.
Interesting. The other song that I liked was Party Like It's 1999.
1999, yep.
Now, there was this one part where he says, and this is a quote, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you." Like, he kind of said it in a creepy voice, which didn't give me much reassurance that he's not going to hurt me.
So that song has some, like, apocalyptic themes. It's saying, like, the world's going to end in 2000, so we're going to party like it's 1999. So if that helps give you any context.
Don't worry, I won't hurt you. Like the apocalypse is not going to hurt you?
I don't think that there's anything very serious behind it. It
was just a fun
is a party
song.
song. It's a fun song.
And that's one of the things that I really liked about Prince. It was just a very fun artist, and I really like that we started the season off that way. So I'm kind of hoping the rest of the season will be fun, too.
We'll find out. Tell me about another song that you liked.
Sure. Yeah, I Want to Be Your Lover. Again, another fun song, cool beat. I just like, this is fun. I want to, yeah. And then Kiss. This was a fun song to dance to. I thought that was really...
I like that song a lot. Yeah, I don't have any, like, super exciting, like, stories to tell you about any of these songs. I'm just glad that you enjoyed the music.
Yeah.
I feel like most of these songs on here, my personal favorites on here are Delirious and Let's Go Crazy. Especially Let's Go Crazy. I've been out dancing, and they started it, and it starts with that organ, and it's like, Dearly Beloved, and you're like, yes! We're about to go crazy. We're about to dance. Like, so fun.
Well, I thought about that song, too, to put on my list. But I decided not to. I don't know why. But...
You're allowed.
I thought it was really cool that out of all the songs that I was listening to with Prince, is that how he started it off, I knew it was that song. There was just no other, like, oh, is it this song, that song? No. He sang it in such a way that he was wanting to really... take over via music and his different ways of how he's working it through all the instruments. May it be just, he's wanting to take over. And I don't know. That's how I felt. I liked it.
Good. Well, before we rate, do you have any more questions or comments?
So I want to comment on one thing that I was really shocked that I really didn't know any of the songs from the beginning of the week. Like, I really could not recognize anything. And I really liked Prince, but it's just that I feel like there's so much more that I could learn.
Right.
So
this show could literally be like, for the next 39 weeks, we're going to do Prince albums. I mean, there's so much. But I feel that if you know what's on this list, you're pretty good to go. You've got some of the biggest, some of the most well-known hits on here.
Good.
So if somebody's like, hey, do you like Prince? You could be like, yeah, I like that song Kiss. And like people will be like, cool. Like, you'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about you not knowing the whole catalog. You've got a taste. You've got the number ones. You know, to a certain extent. Like, we're on the road.
Yeah. Because before I wasn't even on the Unwrap. So let me give you my rating.
All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being that doves are crying, and 10 being that...
I'm buying all 30-something albums.
I was just going to say that you're deliriously in love with Prince.
Okay. I wouldn't give him a 10, but I wouldn't give him a 0. 7.5.
7.5. That's pretty high. That's like saying, like, hey, I like this. I would listen to more of this.
Yeah, I would listen to more of it. I don't know if I'm in love.
Right.
Because there's some things that were like...
You haven't really heard his dirtiest songs yet, so maybe that's why. But maybe you pick an album or two that you like some of the songs from and you say, I want to hear more stuff that sounds like this.
Yeah, I think that's something I want to do. I don't know if I want to do all of the albums, though. So, but I liked him, and I think I really needed to know who he was.
I agree. Welcome to Season 4, Rachel, where we finally got to one of the biggest names that you knew nothing.
I knew nothing of.
It's mind-boggling.
Not really.
I promise you it is.
Okay. If you say so, Allison.
Well, Rachel, I'm really glad that you had a good week, that you enjoyed dancing, listening to the beat, getting to know a little bit more about who Prince is and why he's so beloved around the world. And audience, if you would like to follow along with Rachel's journey of musical discovery, subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And follow our account on Spotify by searching for Spotify :user: music she missed. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks so much and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye. All right.